What is up, YouTube? Today we're going to be looking at the finals of the Miyagi Champions League that I also participated in. If you guys want to check out my tournament experience and my vlog, you guys can check those out. Those are already out on the channel. But today we're going to be looking at the finals of the tournament, which took place between the two most popular decks in the room, Dragapult EX and Gardevoir. I know my face is blocking it. Let me take that off real quick. We're going to go through the matchup real quick. In this metagame, both decks have now received Shaman, which has bench barriers. That's the biggest change from the format that we're used to. Um, so both decks now have a sustainable matchup into Terra Box. They're not getting blown up early. Raging Bolt is also kind of a problem for Gardevoir with the Baby Bolt being able to snipe the board. Now that also doesn't exist with the Shaman being in play. But in a pretty vanilla sense, if Gardevoir gets to set up, the matchup is super easy for Gardevoir because you have the Munkidoris to move damage back onto the other side. You have the Mew Clefairy combo to basically just blow up a to blow up a Dragapult and a Cloak in the same turn with the Munkidori damage. Like you have such infinite combos to get there, but on the other side, the Dragapult deck is going to be using Badoo the entire game to basically make it so the Gardevoir player can't play the game and try to just blow up the board with Dusknoir. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup to see. I actually didn't see the ending of this because I had already started heading out to Tokyo, because I figured it'd be better to go home that night and just head home the next day. So if you guys enjoy this content, please like and subscribe, and we're going to jump into this competitive analysis. I don't know either player's list. I figured it'd be better to look at this blind um, as a reaction. Should be a lot of fun to watch. The finals are always exciting. In Japan, the rules are best of one all the way through. I believe they get a little bit of extra time in this one because it is the finals of the tournament, but it is a best of one tournament all the way through. So it's going to only be one game of Pokemon before they determine who the champion is. So they're going to go ahead and do rock, paper, scissors to determine who goes first. Dragapult is going second. Let's look at the prizes real quick. We see the Morty's Conviction, a very cool supporter here. I think that's kind of unique, especially with all the Area Zero decks, because now you can basically draw like 8 cards and not have to discard a bunch. You're probably discarding like a Psychic or something in the process. So you can almost certainly combo out into like a Candy Gardevoir and an attacker. In a lot of matchups, a very unique supporter. I like that quite a bit. The Dragapult side, we see one Cloak, one Psychic, nothing too impactful. Two Poffins is quite impactful, but the Dragapult player is going second. So they did probably win the flip. I think both players want to go second in this matchup. 3 Psychics from Gardevoir is a little bit impactful as well because now this means that you're only working with probably 3 to 4 Psychics in the deck, um, which means you can't really combo out too hard the way you want to. In the early game, it's a little bit of a scary early game. There's a Badoo opener from Gardevoir. Pretty ideal, honestly, just because you can get that up and running. We see the Vessel coming through. Player's going to be checking, realizing there's a lot of Psychics gone. 1 there, 2 there, 3 there. So there's 7 total Psychics. I think 2 total Darks is what I saw so far. So they've already realized there's a couple prized. One already in the discard is a pretty good sign, and getting a Vessel to get 2 more is a pretty good sign as well. Dark also coming through. If you can just establish the Munkidori this turn, that'd be pretty nice. Ultra Ball. Yeah, there's a Munkidori already in hand, getting rid of the Gardevoir, so it's 1 less Gardevoir in play. These decks typically play a ton of stretchers, so it's one of those things where you just want to be able to recycle cards from your discard. Obviously, both decks wanting to Badoo is a little bit unideal. The Dragon Ball player opening Pheasantipity is also not great for them because that is a potentially easy 2 price take from the Gardevoir deck, um, and not something you'll really want to play too early. Putting the board there doesn't feel great either. You do want to basically try to Badoo this turn if you can because the Gardevoir player has like the threat of a turn 2 Candy Guardy effectively just blow up your entire board now, which would be really, really bad if they got a turn 2 Candy Guardy. So you kind of have to do it. The Halucha is a great addition for this matchup. The Ursaluna as well in the hand, both hitting the discard. It's fine because we have stretchers to work with, so it's totally okay to get back into those. Ultra Ball means no Poffin, which is a little bit unfortunate. We're doing a quick deck search as well, just analyzing what's there, what's not there. I'm a huge fan of the bling. We've got the actual like crazy bling, including like rare candy plasma in there, Heart Gold Soul Silver energies. Yeah, this is awesome. We're gonna get the Master Ball Dreepy up and running um, onto the board. A very simple addition here. I think we're looking for an Iono, a play here. If an Arvin is there, you can go Poffin, Badoo here. I don't think there is one. There's the Evo in hand. We're going to Iono. We're looking to just Evo this turn, looks like. We're just sacking the Badoo play, which is a little bit questionable, but I think we do have to play a fast game. We missed the energy card, which is to be expected. So Gardevoir now has like a pretty good time to be able to set up, all things considered. We're going to see Ultra Ball. Another Gardevoir and a Stretcher. We're just really sacking our Gardevoirs, I guess. Don't really care about them in play. We're going to Curlia. Dragapult needs a lot of pieces next turn to attack, especially missing the energy this turn. So you have a ton of time in the situation. We're going to Artisan. We're going to go ahead and use it. Probably I would establish another Munkidori here. You have a research in hand. It's totally okay to do this. So the Gardevoir and the Stretcher are going to be dead cards anyway. So we're going to go ahead and do this. We're going to go and just research the whole hand, attach the Dark, and just pitch Charm the Badoo. Oh, that's such a big Badoo. It's such a scary, annoyingly big Badoo. um, Nothing off the other side. We do have a Gardevoir. We're gonna go ahead and do 10. Now the biggest thing you have to keep in mind is only two psychics in the discard because we have three psychics prized. So getting the third psychic into the discard is really annoying, which is actually gonna be quite impactful because now next turn, I mean next turn the best play is probably just attack with Guardy, and just put a lot of pressure on, especially because this hand is super weak from the Dragapult player. I think it just might have to be an Iono again. Like this hand is just really really bad. Like you can't even like the Evo's already gone. If you only play one Evo, I assume there's no more than one. The Evo's already gone. You have no way to get energies. You just have to go into this. There's an energy. There's an Artisan. We're gonna go ahead and use the Artisan. Oh, there's a Cloak. Yeah, I remember seeing that. Keep the fire. You always keep energies. Like energies are the most impossible thing to find in this deck, especially under Badulok. We're gonna go ahead and do this. Grab ourselves probably a Duskull. I think it's totally okay here. Because we have the Dusclops in hand, we need to blow up the board in some capacity. I think that it's probably fine just going into Badu and just chilling for the turn. I don't hate this play at all. And then we can attach the energy to Dracloak. Um, Basically put them on having Scream Tail here. 10 back. There's two Guardy and a Stretcher down, so it's like, oh, they need to guard. They need a Stretcher for Guardy here. There's pretty low odds they have the Guardy. They should just establish another Ralts almost certainly. Just make sure their board is nice and easy. Then we can. I mean, I don't think there's a Gardevoir actually. Is that a Clefairy? Do we have a Stretcher preemptively in that hand? I feel like we did, right? We could have just stretched the Gardevoir back. I feel like that was just a better play to bank last turn because, like, yeah, okay. I don't know. I probably would have put the Clefairy down, or I guess Mew would have been fine too. We did draw into the Gardevoir. There's the Mew as well, but we don't have the. I mean, we have the energies to attack, but copying Mew into Badoo doesn't feel great. Um, I mean, we can just Gardevoir the 1 onto the Gardevoir, move the 20, and Badoo I think is completely okay as well. Um, it's totally good. I just feel like we should have preemptively stretchered. Like we pitched a lot of resources, including a Clefairy, and now we're down two stretcher and um, we're down two stretcher and Clefairy as well, and two Gardevoir. So like, it's gonna be really difficult for us to chain attackers. And there's a Scream Tail in the discard as well. No, there isn't. There's two stretcher. There's a Clefairy. There's um, Gardevoir. We're gonna get another Duskull. Um, Dragapult player wants to attack this turn, but obviously it's not the end of the world if we don't. Another Badoo would be super nice. The Fez is now proc, so three more cards for Dragapult. A deck that's already struggling to find its setup pieces. There's a Dusclops onto the board. We're once again missing something. I think it's got to be an Iono angle here. Once more, I think that the start is still pretty slow. Probably just throw the energy onto a different GP and just slam the Iono. We're gonna Crystal the Tricloak. So on the flip side, if we do hit the Dragapult, we do have an attack this turn, which is nice. But the problem is if our first Dragapult goes down, it's like kind of lights out if we don't hit another Dracloak. There's a Dragapult here, but there is no other Dracloak, which is um, a little bit unfortunate. We need another Dracloak here. Or I guess Candy Dragapult would also do on the following turn. But the problem here is if your singular Dragapult gets blown up, the game gets really difficult. I mean, you do have the attachment to kind of follow up, so we're gonna go into the GP, attach the Evo, and we're gonna just Evo up the board, which I do like this play quite a bit because now we get some ghosts back into play. So there was two Evos actually, which is kind of cool with this list. So it's playing a little bit slower. We're gonna go ahead and get a Dracloak and a Dusk Clops out. This way we can actually start gutting the board a little bit more, and we have the potential to just blow this Guardy off, blow the Guardy and Curly up off the board, or like if our opponent goes Charm Clefairy or Charm Mew, we have like actual plays we can make into those. There's the Nest Ball coming through. We see that there is some pieces not there. We're gonna go ahead and Artisan. There's another Nest Ball just failing these. I think presumably I don't think we need to get anything here. Putting a third Munkidori in play seems like a little bit of a mistake. We don't really need that right now. Uh, I don't think we need the Ralts either. It's just a free prize cards at some point in the game. So either thing, we need to keep the bench space open from Mew plus Clefairy because we need to actually pull off the combo. Putting Mew in play preemptively is fine, I think. I mean, I don't know. A counter catcher target killing the Mew seems like completely valid. It's just a free prize. The Charm makes it okay. So it's a little bit bigger. The energies are stuck on the Gardevoir right now. The energies are prized otherwise. One prize is being taken. We have the Ionos coming through. A Charm the Ralts is good. I don't know. Charm the Mew is probably better low key because the Ralts isn't like really the big thing we want to keep alive a lot of the time. I just feel like so much of the time we're trying to keep the Mew alive. Like if the Mew goes down, we lose some of our draw power as well. Like we lose Mew plus some damage on the board. Just feels kind of bad. I mean, there's two Munkidori, so one of the damage should disappear anyway. So you kind of want the Ralts to get knocked out because you want the damage to. Or sorry, you don't want the Ralts to get knocked out. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I understand what I'm saying. And Badoo again, just another 10. Dragapult player now can start attacking. The board is a little bit gross. Another Dracloak coming through. Chain of Dracloaks is finally here. Just took a couple turns to get where we needed to be. Tatsugiri. I like the Tatsugiri quite a bit. Um, we're looking at a ton of cards in the Dragapult player's hand. The Dragapult hits the board. I mean, gusting up the Mew would be super nice this turn, but we can't counter catcher it, so it has to be actual boss. Um, but the problem is Archer Cloak is like pretty vulnerable to getting blown up here this following turn, with the Mew Clefairy combo. But we do know that there's two stretchers gone. That's why I like don't like benching this Mew whatsoever. Like we had the double nest ball in hand, um, and Dragapult's already used a bunch of Ionos. So like it's not like we're gonna get immediately Ionoed back. So in that context, I would have just liked keeping the nest balls because it's just not. I just feel like it's not worth it to use it right there. Um, because now you just opened up this line where like you need so many pieces to make this next play happen, and if you use your like last two stretchers to make this play happen, like, I feel like you physically cannot make this play happen because you don't have the resources in your deck to do so, right? Like I don't see another stretcher in the deck. Like we just don't have another stretcher left. I feel like so we're out of stretchers. We have no access to Clefairy. Like how do we even play this game from here on out? Like it's so difficult. Like we need to get a Clefairy in play. Um, yeah. So we see the counter catcher in the Iona to hand. Um, we're gonna artisan for another Munkidori, putting I guess a ton of damage onto the board. We're just abandoning that strategy, I guess. Um, there's the energy on Munkidori. Probably want to kind of catch her up, just put your cloaks, take them out, and go for the Ionos, I think. Or I mean, Fez is also completely fine here. I think it's a completely valid thing to bring up. Take out the Fez. Um, oh, we're taking out the Clops. That's also completely fine. We don't get completely blown up. I like that as well. That's completely okay. Um, I just don't like giving the drawback over on this other side. We're going to retreat into Badoo. Uh, Dusclops does have two retreats, so we're kind of forcing the pop here. So we're going to put the energies back on Gardevoir, get to 70. We're going to move the damage onto the active. We're going to move it there as well. We're going to move it to the active as well. That's triple Munkidori movements. And we're going to go ahead and Badoo knock it out. So there goes one Dusclops, go down to one, and our opponent still can't use items. Um, I mean, obviously here the board is still pretty clean from the Gardevoir, not clean from the Gardevoir side, but like there's no extra KOs that can be taken. So the Dragapult player um, is looking for like a Duskclops, or sorry, Dusknoir Gust the Gardevoir play this turn. Almost certainly is like the best line we could take here, and we just literally just hit the boss Dusknoir off the first two cards. That's absolutely absurd. Um, that's crazy. I mean, I would take the Psychic here to set up another Dragapult, and I would just evolve the Cloak up. I think. Both players playing Artisan makes it like kind of a new stadium. Like it's just once it's in play for both players. So it's kind of just a dead card. We see all the Pokemon. There is a Screamtail. There's two Stretcher. Getting another Gardevoir in play is going to be very difficult. So I think maybe like the best thing you have to do here is just say that you're not getting another Gardevoir in play and put them on having it. Because if your opponent doesn't have a Gardevoir here, the game could just end. That's three Gardevoir, two Stretcher down. So you're just basically, hey, you need a Gardevoir, you need Candy. There's two Candy gone as well. You're missing a lot of pieces from the game plan you're playing. Personally, I think I would just take out the Gardevoir and put them on having it. Um, which is a lot. You're asking a lot of the Gardevoir player here. Obviously, they do have a ton of cards. You already saw them not have the first time. So personally, I think I would just take out the Gardevoir and put them on having it. I think is like the best way to do this. I mean, I guess you could looking at two turn game as well. If you don't do it this way, but I think it's just way better to do it this way. I don't know. I would have just done it. I think there's no point. Like, what are we scared of? Like, so my biggest question here is like, what are we scared of on the return if we don't do the boss Gardevoir play? Like, I guess that's our last boss. So Badoo just makes it so we have no more Gust. But if we just Dusknoir here and take it out, like our opponent now has three Gardevoir in the discard. The board is triple Munkidori Ralts with a Badoo. Like, what are we scared of on the return? Our opponent needs Candy Gardevoir. Um, three Gardevoir would be in the discard, two Stretcher in the discard. If they use the Stretcher on the Gardevoir, that means they're going down to one Stretcher remaining. If they play a full grip of four, Mew is gone, Clefairy is gone. Like, we're just gutting their entire attacker engine. I think I would have just taken out the Gardevoir here. I think that's just a way better heads up play given the resources that are gone. One Stretcher in the prize cards, obviously, we have no way of knowing that. But if our opponent uses their third Stretcher here, that means that they only have one Stretcher left to work with, so they only have one access left for Clefairy. And looking at their deck, they don't even have pieces to get another Gardevoir up and running. So I think that's like just a heads up way like I would have played the game where like it's just way better to do that way. Um, yeah. Our opponent has very few cards left in their deck, so they do have access to everything they want here. Morty's Conviction coming through. Like literally, like if they have the Stretcher, this is the turn to show it, right? Like if they have Stretcher, they can just go get Clefairy back, um, clean up their board effectively, pop the active. Like, right, like if they just go do that, like they just pop the active with Clefairy, they can just kill it with Gardevoir, and the game effectively is also like really, really good, or they can just retreat this into this and then go. I don't know, they're just in like such a good spot. And we just take a like now look, like the Dusknoir is also just taken out, so we're just in such an awkward spot here. Like we just basically lost our Dusknoir for no reason, and we just lost our Duskull for no reason as well. Like we just basically lost both of our ghosts. Our opponent's going to go down to 2 prize cards, and we're in the same exact board state we were at before, but we could have just literally popped the board. Like I don't understand why we just like hesitated to make that play last turn. That's like the biggest, I think, what if for me. I think I would have just made that like the heads up play because the board state is back to like basically the same, but we've lost all of our ghosts. The Gardevoir player has no resources still. They just made a super heads up play there. We can see a lot of cards. There's 9 minutes left on the clock, but we need to make a lot of plays anyway happen. Um, Basically, like we need to evolve like both Dracloaks here, and this Pheasantipity sitting on the board is a really big liability. So if we have a Turo in our deck, we need to be able to get this Pheasantipity off the board like right now. Like it is not something we can really keep on the board anyway. Like I don't know. Like now we have just so much. Like that was just like a bad turn. I feel like um if we can get to Hawlucha, what is that? 90 left on both monkeys, so we can't even get to that point in time. I mean, I'm okay just hitting the. I don't know. It just this feels bad. Like this feels really bad from the Dragapult side. Like we need a Turo this turn for sure. Turo, and then like we have to go in like um, a clean Pult basically for the following turn. If we like we have to get this Fez off the board. Like obviously this Scream Tail. Like if our opponent has a stretcher, this game is Giga Omega over like multiple times because the Scream Tail just wins the game. Um, like I definitely think we like kind of threw with that play earlier, but it's okay. Um, we're just not getting punished because that stretcher is prized from the Gardevoir side. Um, right now, there's a CC which does give us agent to take one of the monkeys off the board. There's the Arven, Defiance Belt, Nest Ball. I mean, the Defiance Band doesn't really do much. We just go to 230 here. 230 doesn't change the numbers too much. Doesn't swing the pole. We're gonna put that there. We're gonna go ahead and go try to catch up to Munkidori. Um, we're gonna kill Jacloak. Interesting. So we're gonna kill the Jacloak. Go down to 2 prize cards. Again, like if we're gonna make plays like this that are such desperation plays, like why didn't we just do the play where we killed the Gardevoir last year and just say like, hey, you don't have it like that. Our opponent's already seen most of their deck. It's totally okay. Um, yeah, I mean, there's a Curly finally now. Uh, Again, like if our opponent just had access to Scream Tail, this game ends every single time. So if our opponent had access to Stretcher, why would they ever play the Secret Box earlier in the game? The Secret Box basically netted nothing. I mean, it was a counter catcher at best. They discarded, I think, an Arvin to do it as well. So like, why would they just not? Why would they just not like have won the game on the spot effectively there? Um, Same conundrum we've been in for a little bit, right? So it's like damage is off the board, retreat this, go back into the Gardevoir. The single Gardevoir is literally carrying the game. Do we need to attach this? We don't need to attach this. Move the 40 onto the Jacloak. Yep, I like that quite a bit. And then we just pop the active. There's only one Dragapult to work with. There's 1 prize left. Our opponent has to evolve into Dragapult here. Fez into 3 has to draw it off this. There's the Iono. There's a Dreepy. Oh, this could be bad. Is there an Ultra Ball in hand? I don't think I saw an Ultra Ball in hand. There's a Nest Ball in hand. Oh, there is an Ultra Ball. Okay, okay. I don't actually recognize that art. I don't. Maybe that's a league promo art or something like that. But there's the Ultra Ball, so we do get the Dragapult up and running again. Like I just don't. We should have evolved to Dragapult on the other one last turn as well, just preventing this play from happening. But I guess the energy would then go to Fez. But if there was already energy on Fez, we would have seen it. We're gonna see the Nest Ball coming through. I think we just have to fail it. Can't really put any of the small guys down. Any damage on the board is gonna get moved. There's a Dragapult. There's gonna be an Iono to 1. Um, Again, if there's a stretcher, the game ends every single time. We're gonna go ahead and see the Dragapult attack for 200 and put the damage on probably just all on. I would just go 222. Yeah, 222 is completely fine. Um, like again, every single time, if there's just a stretcher, the stretcher is now in the deck. The game ends. Like I have reiterated this a couple times. Like I think you should have made that read that the stretcher is not in the deck a while back. The Gardevoir player retreating. We're gonna go ahead and see the attachment to the Munkidori. We're gonna see the monkey damage from the active. I mean, does it matter? I guess it doesn't matter. The monkey damage from the active doesn't matter. Monkey to the active as well, and we're gonna go ahead and confuse. Minute on the clock, so the player who's getting second has to play pretty quickly here if they want an additional turn. I feel like they want the game to end on their turn here, whether or not. I mean, I would just go for the confusion flip, right? Like boss confusion flip. You have the boss in hand. There's not like what other play can you even make here? There's no resources left in your deck here. There's a couple of Arvins. There is a switch in the deck, so switch Arvin would have done it. Switch Arvin, no, then you can't boss. There's counter catcher in the hand as well, I believe. So you could have gone Arvin for switch. That's actually crazy. There's I think 3 Arvins in a switch here. So the odds of him hitting game basically is like pretty high. And that just like doesn't happen. Which is really funny because this whole game, I feel like the Dragapult player has not been playing the best. But I mean, now it's gonna come down to confusion because I did see a boss in hand, so we're gonna go ahead and just boss and I think go for it. He's like the best play, right? Like time just got called. There's the boss. Um, there's no other line. We're gonna go ahead and phantom dive. Let's hear the coin flip, and it looks like the Dragapult player does win the game. The whole game coming out like this is what best of one is like. Like the Gardevoir matchup is so favored into the Dragapult deck that best of one was just kind of a little bit scuffed because obviously we saw that the double stretcher hitting the discard, double guardy hitting the discard early, and then the Dragapult player playing very slow and hesitantly to kind of tackle that. That's like my biggest gripe with this thing. If you're the Dragapult player, at some point you do have to say they don't have it like that, and make the gut read. Just take out the Gardevoir. Now there's 3 Gardevoir in the discard, like I said before, 2 stretcher in the discard. If they had stretcher before the game would have ended anyway, so you're just saying, hey, you don't have it like that. The Gardevoir player making really good heads up plays to take out both Dusknoirs off the board, Dusknoir and the Duskull off the board the next turn. Just understand that ghosts are the hardest way to lose this matchup. Once the ghosts are gone, any damage that's on the board just gets basically moved to Dracloaks. A lot of pressure gets put on the Dracloaks. One Screamtail is all it would have taken. A singular Screamtail is all it would have taken for a couple turns. Artisan sitting in play, by the way. The Screamtail just being in one of the earlier hands was really unfortunate. The Gardevoir player did research the Screamtail away in an earlier turn when we didn't have to, I believe. We could have just preemptively stretched the Gardevoir to our hand, anticipating a Badoo play. Like, I don't even mind that preemptive stretcher because now the stretcher is wasted in terms of the Badoo. So we preemptively stretched the Gardevoir. The board state would have been the exact same. We could have kept Screamtail. We didn't have enough damage counters to actually make a play with Screamtail that turn, but we just did not have to research that turn. Like, we didn't have to research that hand with, I believe, the Screamtail and a couple other resources. Maybe we still do it anyway, right? But at the very least, we don't have to like feel like we're scrapping for the Gardevoir later in the game, which would have potentially happened. Like there was a potential punish there as well that just didn't come up. So I definitely think it's a lot of nerves. And these players, keep in mind, we did like I was in the venue, I was in the room. We started playing at 8:30 in the morning and played 8 more rounds of Swiss and then top 16. It is a long day. It's like now like 5. I think I left the venue at like 5 p.m. So this is like probably like 7 p.m. now. Like these guys have been playing nonstop Pokemon from since 8:30 in the morning. So I completely understand where it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this analysis. I definitely think the Gardevoir player should have won. But the Dragapult player ends up winning on a riveting coin flip. So thanks for watching the Champions League Miyagi Finals, and I'll catch you for the next one.